Well, mild cognitive impairment is thought to be the transitional stage between the cognitive changes of normal aging, so the normal forgetfulness we all experience, and the very earliest clinical features of Alzheimer's disease. So it's sort of in between. A person's more forgetful than he used to be and perhaps more forgetful than he ought to be. So this is a stage, a risk state, that may very well develop into Alzheimer's disease. And recent research has indicated now that this is a very common condition among especially aging Americans. So individuals who are turning 60, 65, and 70 now are more forgetful than they used to be. If it's a serious forgetfulness and qualifies for mild cognitive impairment, we're dealing with perhaps twice as many people who have Alzheimer's disease, or even 3 times as many. So the numbers are exaggerated with regard to individuals at risk for developing the disease.
If you go across diseases, everyone talks about early diagnosis.
Right.
Define that attached to Alzheimer's disease and why it's so important.
Well, it's likely that the earliest features of Alzheimer's disease appear many years before the diagnosis is made. So it may be in this stage of mild cognitive impairment when people really harbor the changes in the brain that constitute Alzheimer's disease. So it's important to identify it as soon as possible. We may be able to do something about it. There are lifestyle modifications, so being intellectually active, being physically active, eating a heart-healthy diet, that may actually influence the trajectory then of somebody with mild cognitive impairment. Ideally, of course, we'd like to develop therapies, drugs, and other interventions that actually alter the underlying disease process. And if we can intervene at the mild cognitive impairment stage, that's going to have a huge impact on the number of people who ultimately develop Alzheimer's disease.